Well, g'day everyone and welcome back to the channel. This week we're taking on the mighty Plenty Highway. So go and get yourself a cold drink, get your feet up the next 20 minutes or so. Come and join us for the adventure.
Hi, I'm Steve.
And I'm Alison.
We decided a couple of years ago that we'd work hard and save all of our money and start living life on our own terms.
So we bought a caravan and hit the road on a trip for two all around Australia.
So why not come and join us every week for our adventures?
So as we said in the intro, this week's episode is all about the Plenty Highway. We're going to make our way here from the turn-off on the Stuart Highway all the way across to Boulia, and hopefully we don't get chased by the min lights.
Could be an adventure in itself.
This is something we've had on our list for a long time, isn't it, Al?
It is. We saw it a few years ago. A few travellers were doing it and we wanted to also experience it.
We certainly did, and it's been off and on the whole time we've been in the Northern Territory because of the rains. It's been open, closed, but it's open and it doesn't look like it's going to close because there's no rain coming, so we can't wait to get started. Let's get cracking to Gemtree.
Sounds good.
Let's go. Alright, so the first thing you'll notice when you come onto the Plenty is the road gets a little bit thinner. We experience this quite a bit now back Queensland, don't we, Al?
Yes, it's quite common.
And you do have to go half and half with the cars that you're approaching, but when you're in Queensland, and I'm not sure about the territory, you'll have to check, you must give way to road trains. So what we do with the road train in Queensland is we just stop and allow the road train to go by, let them not come off the road whatsoever, and everybody gets along safely. Just need to be careful because sometimes the drop off from the edge of the road can be quite deep, so you just need to find your spot to get on and off because you don't want to upset your caravan as you come off. You certainly don't want to slide in the rocks on the side of the road. So yeah, just slow the speed down and just take it safely and everybody gets along quite easily, don't they?
Yeah, definitely.
Alright, well we just rung up the Gemtree Roadhouse and we're going to stay there the night now. That wasn't our plan, was it?
No.
Well, we met some people a couple of weeks ago and they said to us, where are you at the moment? We told them and they're at Gemtree, so they said, we'll gather some firewood, we'll see you tonight. So we're going to go and meet up with them, which should be a good little night out, shouldn't it?
It was a pleasant surprise to get the message, and it was good timing as well.
It certainly was. So it'll give us a chance to have a look around. This is the central gem fields out here, so that'll be good to have a look at. And then after that, we're going to free camp our way, hopefully, all the way to Boulia.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I saw a couple of people a few years ago do it, so and it looked great.
It is. Well, good morning, everyone. Al, tell them what our greatest disappointment is today.
We are not allowed to take the Plenty Highway. We drove yesterday. You would have seen we showed you the signs and everything was open. So that was great. We got to Gemtrees and as Steve was walking in the door, there's a big sign on the doors going the Donahue Highway is closed, and the Donahue Highway is the highway that you take off when you come off the Plenty into Queensland. So it's closed, and when we had a further look online yesterday, they'd actually updated their instructions to the public about what was open and what wasn't open. Unfortunately, hadn't made it to the signs at the start of the Plenty.
Yes.
And they were saying really no trucks to go down that road, only high four-wheel drives. And we rang around, we tried to find out, we Googled as much as possible. And when we spoke to the council in Boulia, they said they didn't recommend caravans to come down, only the high four-wheel drives. It's very, very wet in that area at this point in time in life.
Yeah, we wouldn't have too many difficulties dragging taking the car down there, but dragging the van up there might have been a
challenge. So we were discussing yesterday coming up in the car, imagine just driving all the way back up the Stuart Highway to Three Ways again, and that's exactly what we're going to get to do.
Yes.
But we're going to dive into another free camp today that's very close to where we are at the Gemtree Roadhouse. We're going to sit there. I've got a little bit of work to do, and so has Alison. We'll get all that squared away, and then tomorrow we'll work our way up. But in the meantime, I'll take you for a walk around Gemtree, show you what's to offer out here. There's a lot of fossicas here, isn't there?
There's a lot of fossicas,
Yeah.
and there's tours that you can do, tag-along tours. Our friends Julie and Craig did it yesterday. They had a mighty time, and she got a good score by all accounts on what she found while she was out fossicking.
Yeah. So anyway, I'll show you around the Caravan Park. Well, I'll give you a bit of a look around our site that we got at the Gemtree Roadhouse. Listen, it's a very basic facility out here in the bush, but you don't expect anything more. This did cost us $40 a night, however, and the Caravan Park is located right next to the Roadhouse. At the Roadhouse you can get fuel. There's a museum there. You can go and wander through and learn about the history of the area. There's also a gem shop that you can have a look at. It's also the same shop that Alison was talking about before. You can go and get your gems graded if you find it out in the gem fields. And they have a fantastic takeaway in there, so you can go in there and fill yourself up with hamburgers or Chico rolls or whatever you like. And the beauty of it is they have like an order sheet, so you can order what you want and they will deliver it to your site of an evening for your dinner, which is fantastic. But here's our site. So all the sites here at Gemtree are drive-through, very, very basic facilities. Obviously there's toilets and shower blocks here. There's also a laundry that you can use. All of the sites are drive-through and relatively shady. There's our access to power and water over there. And you can bring your animals here if you want to bring those along with you as well. So in all, not a bad place to stay, particularly if you just want to refresh, recharge before you move back on. And as you already know, in our case, we're moving back on in the totally opposite direction to the way that we thought we were going. But anyway, we'll get across the Plenty Highway one day. All right, well, as I said, I'll give you a bit of a look around the Roadhouse. So here it is here. You can get fuel here, diesel and unleaded. Just important to note, I'd probably check this if I was coming out here. Today or yesterday, there was no unleaded fuel here. So if you're in a patrol or something like that, you might have a couple of issues, but certainly check before you come out. You'll probably ring the Roadhouse. Here's the Roadhouse here. Inside there's just there's a museum. There's also a showroom because you can buy some of the gemstones here, which they'll set into jewellery for you. And there's a fantastic takeaway shop that I told you about before. There's a swimming pool here for the warmer days, which is certainly not today, and an historical museum, but there's plenty of room. And it was actually a really nice place to stay. The stars last night were absolutely amazing because it's so dark out here, and yeah, just really, really quiet. So if you're coming out towards the Plenty Highway and you want to kick off your adventure in a good way, maybe a quick stop at Gemtree for an overnighter just to rearm and recharge before you hit the Plenty Highway would be fantastic. I can't tell you what the Plenty Highway is going to be like because, as we told you a little bit earlier, we just can't go there.
Such a shame. We were really looking forward to it.
We might do it coming out of Queensland next time and come into the territory that way, and that might be a different way to do it. So
that's a good way.
Yeah, but we're still going to go to Boulia because we want to go and see the Min Min lights, or at least give the Min Min lights the opportunity to chase us through the bush.
Yes.
Anyway, we'll catch up with you later on throughout the day. Rightio, so we decided, we just left the Roadhouse. We've come 17 kilometres further to the east, or we're going 17 kilometres further to the east, to the Zircon Fields. There's a free camp out here that you can stay. So we're going to shoot out to it. We'll spend the day out here. We've got some administrative things to do. I've got to finish a video, which is due to be posted tomorrow.
Hasn't done his homework, people.
We'll dry a bit of washing that we also done this morning. That's going to give us a chance to take on the first 7 kilometres of the bins track. So...
Woohoo!
Woohoo! All right, we're going to go down and we'll set up camp and yeah, we'll just see where the day leads us. Well, we've worked our way down into the Zircon Fields. The free camp that we're staying at is called Mud Tank, and you'll find it's about 17 kilometres away from the homestead at Gemtree. It's a great spot out here. As I said, it's free. You can stay out here as long as you like. There's a few other vans and campers out here at the moment. I suggest they're out here fossicking. Ali and I aren't exactly sure what a zircon is or how you find one, but we're definitely going to have a look online and see if we can find some information, and then we'll get out and give ourselves a bit of a go. But I'll show you our spot. Just had to excuse our washing. But here we are here. We've got ourselves a great spot. It is a little dusty down here, and I'd suggest that when it's wet, it's probably a little bit muddy, but it's a fantastic area to stay in. Just over there in the distance behind the trees is the East McDonnell Ranges, and they look completely different to what you see on the West McDonnell Ranges, but nonetheless a beautiful sight to see on the horizon. So our plan here is we've got some administration that we need to look after. We're going to sit here, get all our work done. We might even end up staying here a couple of days because it is a beautiful spot. Very, very quiet. The sky is enormous, so I suggest tonight the stars are going to be outstanding, and if they are, you're definitely going to see them. Well, good morning everyone. We're still out here at Mud Tank. That's the free camp out in the Zircon Fields, just a little bit east of Gemtree Roadhouse. It was a beautiful night out here last night. Really, really quiet, really, really calm. The stars were absolutely amazing. I've got a gorgeous sunset going on here in the background, which I'll show you in a second. It's about 7:30 in the morning. We're going to wait here about another half an hour or so. That's when the update goes up for the road closures on the Donahue Highway. We just want to make 100% sure because we really want to do the plenty. We'll check it. If it reopens, we're going to continue on to the east. But if not, we're going to go all the way back up the Stuart Highway to three ways and go back down the Barclay Highway. Anyway, we'll give it a crack. In the meantime, enjoy this sunrise. Check this out. How good is that? So yesterday afternoon for about an hour or so, I went for a walk around where the caravan, or where we've got the caravan at the moment, just to see if I could find a couple of stones. Look, I found a couple of things here. They're obviously probably worthless because I'm sure 1,000 people have stepped home before, but they're quite interesting. But I've no idea what they are. I've got these blue stones here. I'm not 100% sure what they are. This whole stone, I'll give it a bit of a wash. All of it is just this green rock that you can see inside. So, yeah, I don't know what that is. And then I think this one here, I think might be a small zircon. I'm not 100% sure, but the colour seems right from what I can see on the internet. But if you've got any idea about these sorts of things, hit me up in the comments section because I'd love to know. I am also going to probably stop in at maybe the Gemtree Roadhouse on our way back past and just ask them if they can tell us what they are, just so we have an understanding of the types of rocks that we found. Well, we just checked the traffic or the updates for the road conditions, and unfortunately the Donahue Highway is still closed from the Queensland border through to Boulia, so there'll be no Plenty Highway for us. But we did, you can't say we didn't give it a red hot go out. We've waited it out nearly 3 days. We're not getting on. The update was, as at this morning, it was 10 minutes before we checked that updated, so we certainly can't go down there. We'll just pick it up in the future. Here's the weird thing though. We're going to go back up to three ways, down the Barclay Highway, into Mount Isa, and then down to Boulia. The total distance of that drive is about 14.5 hours. Going, and about, I think it was about, it's well over 1,000 Ks. Going via the Plenty Highway to Boulia is half the distance but takes the same amount of time according to Google Maps. So either it's just a corrugated road and you've got to drive slow, I have no idea, but at the end of the day we're probably going to spend another $300 or $400 in petrol here, but that's what it is.
Either that or we get stuck in mud.
Yeah, yes, anyway, lesser of two evils. We'll spend the money in fuel. All right, well, we'll hit the road and we'll see where we end up today. Well, we've decided today now, haven't we, Alan? We're going to continue going till we get to the Barclay Highway.
That's the goal. That's
the goal for the day. We'll get around onto the Barclay and then probably find a camp somewhere along there before, I don't know, maybe 10, 30 Ks in. I've got to say though, when you do this Stuart Highway in one bite like this, it's not the most interesting road in the world to drive on, is it?
No, it's not always the most interesting to look at, your surrounds, but you know, there's little townships that pop up every now and then, which is interesting.
Yeah, there is. On the way down, as you know from the episode that you've seen before, we stopped about 6 times on our way down and just broke it up into little chunks, and it was quite good because we weren't driving any more than about 150 to 200 k's a day. But yeah, certainly different when you do it as a long stretch. I really sympathise with the truck drivers who do this every bloody week. It must drive them insane after a while. But anyway, we're going to continue on up to Tennant Creek now. We'll fill up with fuel, and that should get us back to the Queensland border.
It should, yes.
We just stopped at a rest stop on the Stuart Highway. I think it's called Connor's Well or something like that, for no reason other than just to make a cup of coffee and throw a couple of jerry cans of fuel into the car. Now, ordinarily, well, all of the time, I don't condone graffiti. I think it looks bloody awful and everything. But for once, I'm not saying this is right or wrong, but the graffiti artist this time has actually sat here and done a couple of paintings. Check this out. Now, as I said, I'm not exactly sure whether or not it should be there, but at least what they've done this time is worth looking at.
Alright, so I said that the drive was boring. It's not always boring, but it's coming into Barrow Creek at the moment. We're going to drive straight through. We come here on our way down south, didn't we?
We did. We actually free camped just a few k's what is now north of Barrow Creek in a beautiful free camp.
We did, yeah, right at the base of the Donahue Mountains. It was fantastic up there. It's coming past the Barrow Creek Roadhouse at the moment. Some of you will remember that. It was the place where Peter Falconio went missing from, or very near this site. This is the region where, yes, sadly, that incident occurred. Yeah, but it is a beautiful place. It's a great place to stay. I'll just quickly cut in some drone footage of the Donahue Ranges again, just to give you a quick reminder. But yeah, wonderful place. So, after a long day of driving, we're finally rolling back into Tennant Creek. We're going to shoot the town, get some fuel. We're going to go up to the Barclay and go and find ourselves a free camp for the night, aren't we, bud?
Yes, we are. It's been a long day.
We don't do long driving days, but we've knocked off 700 k's today, and that's like normally a 4-day trip for us. So
yeah, every so often we might do a long day.
Yeah.
This is it.
Yes, that's the 700 k's that I was going to save on the plenty that I've done today. So
exactly.
Anyway, get our fuel and find a free camp, and then I've got a special edition of Steve's cooking segment coming up tonight.
I'm looking forward to it.
A Caravan favourite. All right. So we're not 100% sure, but we're going to check. We're not sure if our warranty on our car was 100,000 k's or 5 years, whatever come first, but we're about to either run out of warranty or we've got another 12 months to go. Either way, we're going to clock up 100,000 k's in the absolute middle of nowhere, but why wouldn't you do it like that?
100,000.
There you go. Woohoo! Look at that, in the middle of nowhere.
On the Barclay.
On the Barclay Highway, yes. Okay, I promised you a little bit earlier I was going to do a cooking segment with Steve this evening with one of our van favourites. We're going to do, what's it called now?
Sticky chicken.
Sticky chicken. It's really easy to make, but I'll tell you what I'm going to do just for this cooking segment. A little while ago, my sister down in Newcastle gave me probably the best tea towel that money can buy. So today I'm bringing it out. Thanks, Joe. Very much appreciated. All right, so we're going to use that during our cooking segment today. 3 main ingredients that we like to use in the van because it's simple. This one requires sweet chili sauce, a little bit of soy,
little bit of peanut butter, of course your chicken, a little bit of olive oil, some sesame seed, and our greens today is going to be some broccolini, and we will have a little bit of leftover rice in the fridge, which I'll just reheat and serve it with the rice. But to make it really simple, just grab yourself a bowl. In the bowl, the recipe says to use 1 tablespoon of sweet chili, but we like it with 2 because it just makes the sauce a little bit thicker. That's also 1, 2 of these blokes, and then a tablespoon of soy, perfect, look at that. That was the end of the bottle.
That's good timing.
Worked right on the money. And the last one, it says crunchy peanut butter, but we can only use what we've got. But we do have a natural peanut butter, so just a teaspoon of that. I can get it out. Here it goes. Okay, and then let's put the lid back on that. Just combine those ingredients. That's all you've got to do. So stir those together. And once they've started to combine, just set that to one side. That's going to be our marinade. We're going to cook these in the little baking tray here on the Weber. But if you're doing them at home, or you have a barbecue in your, you have an oven in your Caravan, just preheat it to 180 degrees, I think it is, and chuck them in there probably, I don't know, half an hour, 40 minutes. Just check when your chicken's cooked and they'll be fine. On the Weber, they're pretty simple to do. So I just put them in there until I know the chicken's cooked, or I get out my little thermometer and make sure it's at temperature. With the chicken, we use 3 chicken thighs for us. That's 300 grams of chicken. I just dice them up into some smaller portions and put them in. If you leave them just a little bit larger, they actually cook a bit better when you bake them. There we go. There we go. And there we go. All right, so all you do then is just stir your mix through your sticky chicken. If you don't mind getting your hands dirty, this is a good time to do it. Just make sure you've washed them first. And remember, Steve, do not wipe your hand on the brand new tea towel. I'll destroy it in the first 3 seconds. All right, so I'll set that aside. Ideally, you'd leave that in the fridge for about 2 hours, but we want to eat within the next 2 hours, so I'll just leave that there. I'll get rid of that, and we'll do our broccolini. Okay, the broccolini is really simple. So I think I've showed you this before on the channel. With broccolini, I don't know what it is about me, but when I prepare it, I always just chop the ends off about the first centimetre, and I just disregard those. And then the rubber bands, we always keep them. So if you've wondered, if you've seen in the background why we have all these elastic bands over our safe holders up here, because you always need a rubber band, you always find one over there. With the broccolini, all I do with that is I put that into the baking tray, your sesame seed oil. It's a teaspoon that goes in, so I just give it a light sprinkle with the sesame seed. There you go, and then just toss that sesame seed oil through. And then later on, you can either put these onto the fry pan yourself inside the van. What I do is when the chicken's nearly cooked, I just go and lay it over the top of the chicken inside the Weber, and you'll see all of this, and until it's cooked through, and then dinner's cooked. So it's a pretty simple meal to do, and you only use the one dirty pan and that pot there, so, or that bowl, so that's pretty simple. All right, so I'll just remove our broccolini because we're going to use that a little bit later on. A little bit of olive oil into the baking dish. I always put a bit of baking paper in there. I don't know why, it's just something I do. I suppose it's easier to wash up later on. Done. Add your chicken. And out to the barbecue it goes. So what I've done is I've come out now, the chicken's cooked its way through. You get the pan juices from the chicken. I'll put the broccolini over the top, just close the lid on the Weber, and that'll steam its way through. Once the broccolini's cooked, dinner's ready to go. It's a pretty simple meal. All right, after a very long day of driving, well, for us anyway, because, you know, I think we've done about 650 kilometres a day in total, and for us that's a lot of driving. We normally only do about 200 a day, absolutely tops, but We just want to get past a lot of the areas that we've been to so that when we get back into Queensland, we can go a different way and explore some areas that we haven't seen before. So over the next couple of days, we'll just quickly skip along to a few places, get to Mount Isa. Once we're back in Mount Isa, then we'll start heading south down towards Boulia, Min Min and all those sorts of places. And we're really looking forward to that. We're really looking forward to bringing you along. But I'll show you the camp that we've got tonight. We're at a place, it's about 70 k's east of the Three Ways turn-off on the Barkly Highway. It's called 41 Waterhole from memory, or 41 Borehole. I'll just put in the name if I've got it wrong. But here's our site. And it's just one of these fantastic rest areas that the NT government seems to set up right throughout the territory where we've been. There is quite a few vans in here tonight, but they're very, very well spread out. Ordinarily, we wouldn't camp this close to this guy. We actually pulled in next to him, but we were looking just a level piece of ground. So I just come into there, that was all right. But camping goes right up through there. And if you have a look onto your satellite on Google Maps, you can see all the tracks that go through. It's really, really nice. But yeah, well back from the road, and looks like we're going to get a fantastic sunset over there this afternoon, so I'm looking forward to that. But in the meantime, I'm going to finish off our sticky chicken, get ready for dinner. All right, so here it is, the sticky chicken. It's really nice, isn't it, Al?
It is very nice, actually. It's quite easy to make and yummy.
Yeah, I think that took me about 25 minutes total from the time that we showed you before. Just finish it off with a little bit of coriander and just, yeah, hook in and enjoy. Yeah, yes, really
definitely. Good. Yeah. Looking forward to it.
Alrighty. Well, good morning everyone. We just spent the night at the free camp, which was called 41 Mile Borehole, and it was pretty good, wasn't it?
It's a great little camp.
It was a great starry night. There wasn't much noise. One thing about the Barkly Highway that we've noticed in the times that we've been on it is you don't get a lot of road traffic up after dark, which makes it pretty good. It was a very quiet night. Yeah, it was good.
It was good.
Not too many campers and no one was making any noise. Today, unfortunately though, we've got to head out of the Northern Territory. It'll be our last time in the Territory for about several months. We do have a return trip planned, which you'll see sometime next year, but we're going to get back and get my bloody dodgy prostate out. And once we've got that done, then we can move on.
Yes, yes. Well, we always make plans, but plans always change.
They certainly do.
But that's, hopefully we'll be back sooner rather than later.
So the plan for today, we're going to go down to Camberwell. It's about 4 hours from here. We did stay at the Billabong on our way out, but we found another free camp, which is on the same road, just a bit further down. Apparently it's very nice down there. So we're going to go and check it out. And then we're going to head into Mount Isa the day after.
Yes.
And then head towards Boulia. So that's it for the next couple of days. So it should be pretty good. Come along for the adventure. Well, that's it for this week's episode. Ali and I really hope that you enjoyed it. Come and join us next week when we visit the outback township of Boulia and go in search of the legendary Min Min lights. We set up camp on the banks of the Burke River. It's a beautiful spot. We really think that you're going to enjoy it. If you like today's episode, make sure you give us a like before you leave. If you've got any questions on today's episode, hit us up in the comment section. And as usual, if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, please consider doing so because it really allows our channel to grow. But until next Saturday at 7 o'clock, you guys have yourselves a great week. We can't wait to see you. We'll see you then. Bye-bye. I'm not 100% sure. I asked Alison, she just rolled her eyes at me. But I reckon that's increased the value of the Caravan by at least, I don't know, maybe another...
2 cents?
Oh, cut it out. There'd have to be at least 10 grand in that. 4 peat coming up this year.
Okay.